Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us here and for your kind patience, and a very warm welcome once again to all of you who are here to listen to a stellar cast of speakers moderated by Mr. Tim Liu of Visata Creative. Tim comes from an extensive retail background, coming off his latest project with Jaya Grocer. I would like to find out how that was. But before we do that, please welcome Tim to the stage. We believe that since COVID-19 took over the world, retail has never been as different as it is now, even for me. So new ways of business, new ways of supply chain management, new ways of how products are being displayed to create an even more immersive customer experience, be it industry end user or the average consumer. Together with Tim, we are happy to welcome Mr. Raymond Ng of Intel, whose expertise lies within the retail space and how to make it even more interactive than before through their partners. Mr. Wayne Yu of Clinicar, who has reinvented the space on how you can buy your tires and get them serviced. I know personally that Mr. Wayne has serviced some friends of mine and they are very happy with his service and able to order tires when they have never done that before. And Mr. Pradipan Sunamasingham, a former Magic executive and now his own director at the Tech Connectors, with very thought-provoking solutions for the retail industry. Rounding up the panel is the ever-enthusiastic Mr. Alan Chia, Country General Manager of Custom Certified, Malaysia's very own unicorn. Over to you, Tim, to take the helm.
Thanks, Lailin. Thanks so much. Thank you for having us today. And of course, to my esteemed panelists this afternoon, it's a pleasure to actually be here and to be able to speak and share the stage with you all. I think, again, very warm welcome to, of course, Wayne, who is, if you all don't know, the founder of Clinicar, one of the fastest growing car care and tire online platforms in Malaysia. Currently focused, of course, very much, as Lailin mentioned, transparency, hassle-free policies, and of course, excellent customer service. He's working tirelessly to digitalize and, of course, unify something very traditional, which is the workshop industry. And I think we'll hear a lot more about that today. I'd like to also welcome Mr. Pradipan, Director of Tech Connectors, whose actually aim is to connect global advanced technologies looking to expand to the region. And he actually founded the company after realizing there was a gap in the advanced technologies locally and regionally, as working with many companies to expand their offerings to the ASEAN region. Also, another good friend of mine today, Raymond from Intel. He's the Retail Segment Manager at Intel. Which is RBHE, which stands for Retail Banking, Hospitality and Education. He joined Intel in 2004 and he has extensive track record in designing and implementing new strategies and go-to-market models for digital signages, driving open pluggable solutions for standardization of smart displays solutions worldwide. And last but not least, I'm also joined today by, of course, Alan, Country Manager at Custom Certified, which is the largest integrated car e-commerce platform tasked to expand the retail network in Malaysia. I think he's doing a phenomenal job, and we're going to hear so much more from them. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me this afternoon, and let's start off the session by just a quick recap of the last 24 months. I think COVID has truly decimated the retail industry. To a certain extent, physical retail is was severely impacted. Not so much now, I can see a growth back, but I think the biggest explosion has been online retail. I think globally, online sales of products have grown by 25% in real terms in 2020. And from January to September, the e-commerce income in Malaysia was recorded at 801.2 billion, an increase of 23.1% year-on-year for Malaysia. Maybe we'll just start off with Wayne. What does the idea of connected retail mean for you and your business? I think, Wayne, you are muted.
Okay, hi, can you hear me? Sorry. All right. Connected retail plays a very important part since Clinicar early development, because our business is always about connecting drivers online to physical workshops. So with the right tools, we can now serve up to 150 to 200 customers daily, compared to traditional workshops that only able to serve maybe 10 to 20 customers daily. So Clinicar actually uses a connected retail concept to create a win-win situation for our customer and our panel workshop. So our panel workshop will be able to increase their sales and profit, and where our customer are able to save more time and money by choosing the right products, and services online.
Great. Thanks, Wade. Pradiphan, what do you think the idea of connected retail means for your industry?
I think for the companies I work with, and in my perspective, I think connected retail is essentially like, the convergence of traditional retail with online retail as well. And also it's a shift, right? So traditionally it's always about customer experience, but when you talk about connected retail, there's elements of customer engagement, interaction, and also customer behavior analysis that it's something new that would diversify the sector. Yep.
Great. Maybe we'll go to Raymond. What do you think from Intel's perspective, the idea of connected retail, what does it encapsulate?
Okay, so yeah, when we know that during the pandemic, right, everybody is on lockdown. So a lot of people actually, try to, use the e-commerce site to deliver, grocery, buy product. But now we are gradually, recover from the lockdown. So now consumers are starting to, to come back to the physical store. But I think that their expectation of the shopping experience now they really change, because they don't really see the kind of like, they want to shop. So they already got this, what we call the digital experience. So when they want to go back to the, shop, they are expecting some level of, flexibility, convenience, or even like, whatever, like the instant, gratification that they receive online shopping. So they want to, rethink that. So retail really need to rethink how they really, welcome this kind of, new, what we call consumer that coming to shop to them. So what we see is that the idea of connected retail is like, it's a retailer that will be able to connect the customer seamlessly from the online to offline, and then offline to online shopping experience. And through the personal marketing or combination of physical store or digital experience, supply chain, or a variety of payment options, for example, touchless, or even like, frictionless payment, and providing the kind of capability to their employees also to collaborate more effectively. So these are the connected store that we are thinking about.
Yes. I think you've definitely highlighted a very important aspect of what connected retail is, and that the connected store, I believe, plays a very big role in this. And last but not let's not forget, Alan, your thoughts on connected retail and what it means for you and your business.
Well, from what you can see on Carson's side, right, we are pretty much an epitome of the connected retail. How can we provide a holistic user journey when it comes to, the physical stores that we have, the online journey that we provided, and, then how do we mix it up, right? And then while mixing it up, then we'll be able to create the holistic journey that that all these evolved shoppers have moved into. Because right now, our shoppers are very savvy, right? They would expect the same kind of service or values that you can get, whether I'm from in your physical store or whether I'm on your online store. And they expect the same kind of quality that you expect from either which. So that's what it means to us when it comes to connected retail.
Thank you. So I think especially for a business like yours, but while sticking with you, Wayne, I think one of the key things that we'll really want to delve a little bit deeper with you is really what is the biggest change you see for the business during this tumultuous 2 years that we've actually had?
I think people really goes online for everything, even the smallest thing in your house. So for the past 2 years, I think from a month, maybe we are selling like, let's say 100 tires. It suddenly just shoot up to maybe a few hundred a month, and or maybe sometimes 1,000 a month. So it actually just boosts up like a magic portion for us.
Do you just sticking with you? Do you think that being online in your case is even more important than having a physical presence, or do you think it complements?
Actually, it complement each other. We are actually bringing online to offline and bringing back to online for follow-ups. So it's a process. Yeah.
Great. Thanks. Going to Alan, I think what do you think was the biggest challenge in the last 2 years for CASM certified?
Okay, I'm going to be honest. I only joined CASM this year. So I don't know part of the hard journey they've gone through last year. But based on what I can see, right, a lot of it is just based on the limitation of the physical touch points, where if people can't come out, then it's very hard for them to get the car, right? But it also has taught us a lot in terms of how do we amplify the other touch points that we have within our resources, right? Whether we can do home test drive, home deliveries, online transactions and all this kind of stuff. So I think the hardest part during these 2 years is basically the physical touch points.
So that you touched upon home test drives and home deliveries. Is that something that CASM is uniquely looking into to bring to the service to the customers? And is that going to really drive the retail experience for you, for the brand?
Look at it this way. We already started doing home test drive and home deliveries, right? And it's not moving the needle yet, in the sense that we are just giving more options to our customers. And you can see, right, when the moment the MCO is lifted, everyone is rushing out, right? Revenge shopping, revenge traveling, or all this kind of revenge stuff they're doing. So even then, when we offer the home test drive to our customers, they say, no, I want to come and test drive it at your store. And so the idea of creating all these home test drive and home deliveries is basically expanding the kind of values and services that we can give to our customers. Again, like I mentioned just now, right? It's all about holistic user journey. We will be able to cater to almost every kind of inconvenience, conveniences, difficulty, non-difficulties, whatever it takes for you to have a very, very good time shopping with us. And that's the kind of value that we're going to move into.
Thanks, Alan. I think that's really that. I think when you mentioned the word holistic user journey, I think that's in essence what connected retail is very much about. Moving on to Pratibhan, what technologies do you see as being pivotal to retail businesses to look into in 2022 to ensure that their continued relevance or survival?
I think I would say that technologies that are going to help businesses, for example, like improve customer retention, customer loyalty, and also there are technologies that can also help with brand stickiness, and also companies and technologies that can help with data analysis. So it's essentially like understanding customer behavior, right? So to kind of resonate with what Raymond has told, in the past 2 years, everybody has been shopping online on platforms like Lazada, Shopee. You're so used to engagements, it's very engaging, they have games, they have competitions. So now the traditional brick and mortar businesses would need to think, right, how would they be able to combine their online sales channel and also their brick and mortar businesses, and like what Alan said, is to create that whole holistic experience.
Thanks. I think Raymond, my question to you is on top of the connected store, right? What other areas do you see that Intel can play a role within the connected retail space?
So you mean what Intel can play, right?
Yes, correct. Intel's role in pushing connected retail forward.
So actually at Intel, as we know that we offer the very high performance CPU with AI, deep learning, computer vision technology and all that. And we also offer the solution building block from the edge to the cloud. And with that, we actually work closely with our ecosystem partner so that they can accelerate their development and deliver this kind of innovative intelligent solutions as part of the connected retail initiative. And we also work, especially when we work with our partner, we are focusing on how to solve the retail's specific challenge or problem. Like for example, we are powering some of the connected retail, focusing on how they can actually deliver an immersive consumer experience to their customer, or even enable their sales associate and to deliver a more what we call a personalized customer service to the consumer, or build a flexible, efficient infrastructure. I'll give you an example. For example, today we actually work closely with our ecosystem to enable the edge computing. and maximizing the workload consolidation on the system in transforming the connected retail solutions. And we think that this is important because it will build a flexible infrastructures connecting all these solutions together in the store, and so that we can actually collect a lot of data and then share efficiently. And the information can then be analyzed and then give the retailer the business intelligence to make more informed decisions in real time. So that's how we actually help the industry. And on top of that, actually, we do have this called market-ready solutions, a marketing program that actually we help retailers to speed up their what we call their connected retail implementations. So this is the end-to-end solution that actually we actually featuring the Intel technology, and we work with our ecosystem partner to make sure that they optimize on the our Intel solution and able to drive the data intensive workload and ready for the immediate implementation with the advantages of faster time to market and faster time to value. So these are the things that actually we are helping the industry to on the connected retail.
I think that's a very good understanding of Intel's role. May I ask, like, why did Intel choose to embark on a division like retail, which traditionally the industry has been very segmented. The most of the technology in physical retail is mainly focused on things like the POS system, data analysis there. But why did Intel decide to go deeper by creating this concept of the connected store and connected retail?
Actually, because actually in Intel, right, we are in the what we call the IoTG group, Internet of Things group. So what we really see that how we actually can enable more IoT to solve some of the challenges that are facing by the industry. Even like beside the retail industry, we have the banking, and also we have education. Just now we include hospitality, including the hospital, what we call the hotel, and also the the quick service restaurant. And but in order to provide a better solution, we really need to understand what really the industrial pain point problem statement that they are facing today. So we actually try to organize ourselves so that we are more closer to the end user to understand that, so that when we come up with a solution, it's really relevant to them and solve their problem, rather than we just create the technology for the sake of technology.
Thank you. Thanks, Raymond. Gentlemen, going back to a little bit more general questions, I think open to the floor. How do you think 2020 will look like for the retail market in general? Maybe we'll start off with Alan.
I think it looks great, really. Looking at the numbers that's going up, looking at the number of the retail sector that's opening up with the sales, the amount of people that's on the road. I think coming year is just going to be crazy, right? I mean, it's on the road to recovery and bringing in the psychological effect of the COVID that, there's a huge need to fulfill a gap, in everyone's positive mindset and so on and so forth, where, we need to be nourished by some of us by shopping. And based on what happened during the COVID and, a lot of the retail businesses, especially the massive one, you're talking about Nike, Uniqlo, and all these guys, they have totally revamped on how user can get more benefit out of their digital platforms, and that's connected to their physical platforms as well. So looking at the back end, front end, everything that's happening. So I think that the trend for next year is just going to be amazing. Looking at how things are already progressing, even just by the end of the year, and we're not even reaching January yet.
Yeah. How do you think that positive outlook reflects for Kasim in terms of, are you all thinking then of expanding your presence even more by investing in more physical spaces, or are you gonna double up your efforts on the online side to create a so-called more holistic, as you mentioned, holistic customer journey?
It both go hand in hand, right? In terms of, in order to scale up our digital platform, the physical platform must be available, because at the end of the day, you're still talking about a physical car, which needs to be kept, at a parking or a yard or a shop and so on and so forth. So in terms of expansion, definitely we are continuing there, because right now we are still we're still not in the entire Malaysia yet, right? And we'll definitely move into that kind of expansion pace. And cars is always something that is evergreen, right? There's not a year you hear people say, no, I'm not going to buy a car anymore, and I'm going to use public transport. And so that's why in the upcoming year, we'll definitely look into more expansion coming up. And even now, if you go to our website, you look at our inventory, we have the largest inventory in Malaysia right now, right, on a single online platform. So you can see the kind of effort that my team is putting in order to see how we can create and improvise on the user behavior when it comes to purchasing a car as compared to what we used to have.
Thank you. Thanks, Alan. How about Pradiphan? What do you think 2022 looks like for the retail market in general?
I think, I mean, given the trend and given things picking up, I think it's going to be an amazing year. It's just going to be very interesting to see that people are actually going to be hungry for offers at the brick and mortar, like retail businesses as well. So it'll be interesting to see what are the offers that are going to be placed by all these more traditional retail businesses compared to the online sales only.
So that being said, then do you think that there will be a slowdown in terms of online retail sales?
I think definitely. I mean, since things are opening up now, I'm pretty sure that some of even the online, like especially the grocery businesses, have seen a little bit of a slowdown in sales. I mean, I don't think numbers are bad, but comparatively to the past 2 years, when the only options, most people's options for shopping groceries were online, now they're going to definitely go to the supermarkets and markets as well. So yeah.
That's true. Thanks for that. Wayne, what do you think the retail market looks like in 2022?
Well, I think the traditional retailers will be facing a lot of challenges because if they are still not exploring into digitalizing their business, and online retailers are catching up, and they have so much tools and opportunities to stay connected to their customer, and they are able to reach out to more potential target market with a lower cost. Nowadays, everything is cheaper comparing to those days. And I believe we can see a drastic growth of digitalization process for the retailers throughout the whole year.
So when you mention, what do you think, for example, when you mentioned that traditional retailers are going to face challenges, how do you think that they could be helped to change their mindset even further? Or do you think that we should sort of, personally, I mean, do you think we should wipe the board clean with a new breed of retailers coming in? Because one of the things that I've personally seen in the business that I'm running is that one of the key emphasis that I think the silver lining from COVID, if I can even say it as a silver lining, is that I foresee a better class of retailer going forward. One that's really living in and totally understand and grasps the concept of connected retail. What do you think, Wayne?
Okay, for my industry, for example, because let's say a traditional workshop, a tire shop, everybody knows a tire shop is run by a few labor. Even the boss, sometimes they have to work themselves. And if they don't bring the business online, I wouldn't say they can go 100% online or digitalization, but they have to somehow get a space on the digital world to at least get exposure. I still see a lot of workshops, they don't believe in internet. They will say, no, this is just not my thing. People still come to me. They still rather go back to the traditional business way where, I just want to serve my loyal customer, that's all. But again, the market is getting really competitive because of the internet. Information is so transparent. And if the industry people is still not adapting to the new norm, I would say, the new norm of the industry, and it might be a quite suffering process for the older mindset, workshop.
Do you think then the government has a role to play in trying to push these things forward?
Yeah, definitely. But looking at the current scenario and the whole industry landscape, I believe it's not about help or assistance now. It's the mindset of the owners of the workshop in the industry. But I still can see the younger generation or second or third generation of workshop business. They are on Shopee, Lazada. They try to have existence online. And now the challenges we are also facing is actually to convince the first generation to tell them, look, you should be online. And we still get a lot of negative feedback at the moment. So, we have to work towards that direction.
Great. Thanks. Raymond, what do you think 2022 looks like for the retail market?
I think, that just now we talked about the trend shifting from online to offline and then from offline to online. I think it's a very progress, but I believe that in 2020, it's going to be accelerated even faster. And because of that, I think a lot of retailers will, continue to adopt this kind of connected retail strategy as part of their what we call in-store digital transformation, so that they can actually have more in-depth and also know that what are the actionable insight that in their store by using the this kind of AI computer vision technology or even advanced analytics solutions. So we are foreseeing that. So with that, this kind of data, right, actually now they can actually provide a more personalized, what we call differentiated, hyper convenient customer experience, so that they can have a more distinct competitive advantage and separate from the competitions that we are seeing from the 2022 moving forwards.
Great. I think the question I would ask for you, Raymond, is that I think as Wayne highlighted just now, that the traditional retailers have a tough time with adopting technology. How do you think Intel can help? And maybe Pradipan might want to jump in as well. How do you think that companies like yourself, the tech connectors, can actually assist to smoothen or sort of overcome the barriers for traditional retailers to adopt technology?
So actually, yeah, you're right. Some of the solutions, before they actually want to know that what really benefit them or what kind of ROI they will bring to them, it's kind of like, before that is very challenging. So what Intel is trying to do is that we work with our partner to come out with some kind of a proof of concept strategy, where actually that before actually we try out a few store or one or two store to test out this kind of solutions at the actual or what we call deployment scenario. And then from there, they will understand that what kind of benefit they will gain with this kind of solution down the road. So these are the strategy that we are trying to, so once they understand that, I think it's easy for us to scale and then make sure that they are actually, are able to get these solutions at a faster time to market.
I see. So proof of concept stores is sort of like the key strategy that you'll be looking to deploy in 2022. Pradipan, maybe do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I think with tech connectors, we tend to work like most of the partners that we work with. Essentially, we keep them aware that I think with regards to the Malaysian market, I mean, there's a lot of education and I think at least a free POCs that usually should be done. So I think, for example, Endgame is actually a Malaysian startup. So they actually do a gamification for the retail businesses. So they have worked with businesses such as Fave, with businesses such as T-Life. But recently, they just launched a new platform called Tapmaster, which is more of a gaming as a service. So if anybody is interested, you can just scan the QR here. So there's a platform where retail businesses can actually go, and there's actually a free application where they can gamify engagement for their customers. And of course, there's a paid services for more like customized, branding within the games and such. So I think a technology like Endgame helps the more traditional businesses at least dabble around with new technologies that can help their retail businesses. That's one. BlockDocs, for example, they do sensors that actually can help businesses analyze their customer footfall. So this enables them to enhance probably their sales, figure out where is the customer interest, especially when it comes to shopping malls. And Decision Labs actually, what they do is they help converge the various customer engagement points, such as your physical stores, your online channels, your call centers and such. So what they do is they actually help this, smaller businesses can use their services essentially if they don't have a big team to manage all their social media and such, to actually consolidate or converge their customer and user experience basically. Yeah.
Great. I think as you mentioned here. So my question to you, maybe just dig a little bit further, Pradipan. Would you think this would translate to a higher operating cost for these retailers onto a business which is a retail landscape that currently now is in the mindset of, I would say, survival?
Yes and no, I guess. I think end of the day, it will cost them to actually, innovate. I mean, innovation is a cost any business anyway. But I think on a longer term perspective, if they do not start using technology where they can understand, for example, customer behavior, increase engagement with customers, and are able to create brand stickiness, it's something that they will lose out in the wrong run anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think all of you on the panel have tried to emphasize today the importance of really brand stickiness and really customer engagement. So I think in your relevant businesses would be asking, probably we'll start off with Wayne. What are the retail trends that you foresee in 2022 is going to shape the market for your industry? Do you see any retail trends that are on your radar that you think is going to shape the market in 2022?
Yeah, I think personalized of services and products will be a trend for the retail market next year, because as you know, the technology grows and people is getting really easy to get information. They really want a simple and easy way to purchase what they need and to save time with all the hassle. Especially my industry, talking about tires example, you have so many brands in the market, A to Z, you name it. But what really suits you? Question mark. You only know the brand, that's all. And actually every tire comes with the different functions and stuff like that. So we are looking that, we assume that people now wants to really get in touch straight to what I want. Let's say I'm a comfort driver, I really travel, I like to drive quietly, and I'll go for certain tires. And as a platform, as an online retailer, we just tell them, look, don't need to think so much. Just come to us. Let us introduce you this, or this. That's all. And what we are seeing is more targeted advertisement on social media platform next year, because everybody is talking about target market, and there are more and more digital marketing firms offering such services at a very affordable cost. So I think next year it's really about personalized and target advertisement to the right target audience.
Thanks. Maybe Alan, any thoughts for you on the retail trends you see that's going to be shaping your market in 2022?
For cars, it's pretty similar, right? It means whatever products we put on our offering is the level of service and the values that we can create for our customers. As I mentioned just now, on how can we create a more holistic journey for them, right? And giving them more options. And in terms of personalizations, I agree with Wayne, right? It's something that we should provide to our customers. But in terms of the car, we only can do so much, which then falls into the ancillary service, which means we talk about road tax and so on and so forth, right? And so then how do we bring all this thing together, where right now we're already convincing you that you can buy the car from the comfort of your sofa? Click the button, choose the colors, choose which car, and then click buy. And then we will be able to deliver the cars to you. So again, we have to emphasize that the retail trend next year, right? It's about going very niche and also going very wide at the same time. So it's not just about, going after a very specific and deep dive in the market, but how can we cater more values to more customers, and yet they will feel as if the whole thing is personalized for them. And that's the kind of retail going forward. Everyone wants to be unique when it comes to shopping. Everyone wants to be the person that owns the unique item, one out of 10,000. And that can be created by the kind of journey that we bring the customers through. And, at the end of the day, they feel satisfied buying the product from you. And therefore, you replicate the kind of word of mouth to their friends and family and so on and so forth. So that's the kind of retail trend that I'm seeing. Very, very wide scope. And yet it also can be very personalized by creating more values to that specific customer in the specific state.
Great. Just out of curiosity, right, Alan, do you think that with more, as you mentioned, more options, more personalization, do you think that there's we are running the risk of sort of like overloading customers with too much information? would that be a concern for your business?
Well, I think right now also, that the shoppers they're all very evolved really, right? These are smart guys. They know how to use the internet, they know how to Google search. And I guarantee you, everything that we put online, they would have researched it first. and then they'll come back to you and they'll counter things. So as retailers ourselves, then it's how do we prepare ourselves when they come up with all these kind of questions, inquiries, and so that's that sort of stuff. So it's just a matter of time before the generation move even further, where then they are even better well connected, and therefore that's why it's not going to be overwhelmed. They're going to flood themselves with too much information themselves before they come to us. So therefore, the moment they come to us, then we have to make sure that it's very easy for them to make a choice based on the research they have done themselves, and we just amplify what they already believe that's already true. Then it's just simple clicking of 1, 2, 3, and please buy.
Great, thanks, Alan. Pradiphan, your thoughts on do you see any retail trends that will definitely going to be shaping 2022?
I think it's the convergence of online to offline, because I think a lot of people would probably shop, browse online, perhaps see what's the prices, but then actually, especially when it comes to clothes, they'll go to the physical store to actually try it out. And so then it's going to be, there'll be a lot of pricing wars that probably going to happen within the retail, I guess.
How do you think then retailers can potentially counter this issue? I think what you're referring to essentially is sort of like showrooming, right? People are basically doing the research online, going in store, trying it, but then going back to purchase online again. How do you think retailers, traditional physical retailers, can actually overcome this?
I think then it comes down to like customer experience, personalizing the customer's journey, right? So perhaps trying to connect their online channels to their offline channels, where if the customer were to create profiles online and they were to come in store, you actually kind of know what's the customer's interest, and you can actually build that rapport with the customer. Then perhaps, even though perhaps maybe the store might charge a little more, but the customer is actually willing to spend because of that whole experience there, right?
Yeah.
So right. especially so I think if you see, like when it comes to Lazada, Shopee, the process to actually return it is pretty easy, right? But when it comes to more traditional retailers, that whole returning process is not there. So that's why people actually prefer to shop online sometimes, right? So if the retailers were able to tweak that and perhaps figure out how they can improve the customer's experience in that aspect, then perhaps physical store shopping, even though the price is maybe like 10 to 15% higher, they'd probably be willing to just go because they're comforted by the fact of comfortable customer experience.
Great. Thanks, Pradiphan, for your thoughts. Last but not least, Raymond, are you seeing any major retail trend that Intel is foreseeing and they're going to be pushing through in 2022? I think you're muted, Raymond.
I think moving forward, we are seeing that many retailers are adopting this kind of omni-channel strategy. So they're actually, by implementing like this kind of devices like smart signage or interactive kiosks or even like smart shelving, all these other devices, so that they actually can aim that with this kind of integrating the information rich and then convenient experience for like those consumer enjoy in the online shopping, they actually also can come to the store, also experience the same thing inside the store. So like to answer just now how we really return or pick up, actually today we can see that the BOPS, as you know, the buy online, pick up in the store, or even like buy online, return in the store service. So these are the new kind of services that actually allow the shopper to order online and then get their order fulfilled with the pickup tower, or even like curbside pickup. So that this kind of will minimize the kind of long wait time or having a fast and more secure and convenient shopping journey for this kind of the digital experience customer. So and we also see that in order to make sure that the consumer when they come to the store, they are more fun or safe and friction-free for this kind of shopping journey, we can see that there's a lot of retailers start to adopt this kind of frictionless retail solutions, meaning that in order to skip the kind of long wait time at the cashier checkout, right? So they are using this kind of self-service kiosks with this kind of AI-powered loss prevention solutions, or even they transform the whole store into the grab and go store. So meaning that the shopper will just come in through their what we call the facial recognition, or even scanning the QR code, like Amazon Go, just so that you can walk into the store, grab the items, and then buy and then walk out. And all this is actually using the AI computing technology visions to detect what are the items that actually taken out by the shopper. And then we apply the frictionless payment so that they actually can automatically transact. So there's no human interaction at all. So this is good for this kind of like, pandemic during the time where we try to minimize this kind of infection. So you enhance this kind of true safe and fast shopping journey moving forward.
Great. Thanks so much, Raymond, for that. Very good points that you've made there. I think, sorry, there's one question by one of our audience for, I think it's open to anyone. What's your opinion of XR reality metaverse in your industries and applications? Are any of you implementing this in your ecosystems? Anyone wants to take on this question? I think Luke, I think that there's this by Luke, right? I think Luke we'll get the answers for you. We'll speak to the panelists and get the answers for you, because I think unfortunately we're running out of time. I think 40 minutes truly doesn't cover what we are here to do. I think there's so much more we can, and so much deeper we can dive in. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time and your answers today. I think it's a pleasure, and I think I'll just like to pass the time back to Lylin.
Thank you very much, Tim, Raymond, Ellen, Pradiphan, and Wayne for such a wonderful conversation. Now I am like, how do I navigate the retail sector? Am I going to be in augmented reality, or am I not going to be in it? But it was certainly an eye-opener, and I believe those who are still with us today had a very interesting takeaway, and we certainly hope you took more than just solutions. And before we end the session, we would appreciate your response on the feedback poll, which will be popping out on your screen right now. And for all questions that went unanswered, like Luke's, we will try our very best to pose them to the responsible speakers or whomever who has a solution to it, and whether or not you have your own individual responses as well. With that, this concludes our IoT Asia plus Malaysia forum. We hope the forum has been thought-provoking, eye-opening, and just overall suspenseful. If you want to know how you can learn and gain more insights, then why not join us at IoT Asia Plus this March 2022. As its tagline goes, igniting business changes through collision of communities and ideas. It takes a village to make things move. This is no different. Have a solution to share? Then contact us and we'll be right with you. Thank you and have a great Wednesday evening.